Hey folks, it's Jadius,
And this is Bayes.
and we're in the Wood League, and so are you. And today we've got an exciting match, a ZvZ, a mirror match. This one features the little one, which we haven't seen in a little while on the Wood League. And actually, he kind of intrigued me during BlizzCon because he decided to go all Zerg. As most of you probably know, he started out kind of hot on the scene as a random. Then he went on to all Terran, and now he's doing all Zerg. So I was excited to see what kind of strategy he's pulling out. And he's going up against Sen, a really good player, really good Zerg right now, beating a lot of people, beating Idra recently, beating just really playing really well. So we're going to see these two guys go at it.
Yeah, so JD is seeing that TLO has switched to Zerg made me come up with a question for you for today's game. Would you ever consider switching to Zerg, seeing all the hardships you've been having against Zerg as Terran of late?
Well, I also have like lots of hardships against Protoss too, as you probably know. I think that I would probably more, it's funny that you asked. I would be more inclined to switch to Zerg than I would ever be to switch to Protoss. I hate Protoss. I want them all to, die and be eradicated from the galaxy and all that stuff. But yeah, I think if I were ever to switch, or if I were to ever integrate another race into my playing, it would definitely be Zerg. Because
Yeah. Well, my personal opinion, it's good to play random. It's on the other hand, it's better to get familiar with each race one at a time first, and then switch to random. That's really a great way to improve your game, to just fully understand all the races instead of just one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've tried a few times, going against people who are comfortable with a certain race, like as playing, their comfort race, to see how I would stack up, and it definitely is good practice. But you've always got that bit of apprehension if you feel like you've at least, to your own playstyle mastered a class, you feel like you don't want to go out into the ocean of competitive play with another race. But yeah, to finish it off, I definitely would favor Zerg over Protoss any day. I think that Zerg are pretty cool, and I don't know,
Yeah, they're definitely a very slimy race, very sleazy, if you will. Perfectly match your personality.
and they are masters at the Zergling Rush. Oh my god, I totally missed that like super crazy flaming burn that you just laid out on me because I was paying attention to TLO's like Zergling Rush here. But wow, that was just like super harsh. I think that you should have like a T-shirt printed of that or something like that. But
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
on, I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna ignore that mega
Oh,
burn.
here come the Zerglings.
The
They're coming
Zerglings.
into Sen's base right now.
The Zerglings are coming, but Sen having a four, make that six Zerglings of his own right now is probably going to turn this away rather quickly. Those Zerglings coming out, perfectly timed Zerglings there for Sen, and the Queen also being able. Oh no, sorry, is there? Yeah, there is a Queen. The Queen
Yep,
there.
the Queen really turned the tide. Made TLO know the attack wasn't going to do anything, but he got away with all of his Zerglings, and I really like that.
Yeah, TLO's reaction time was very fast there. Was able to not lose any Zerglings where in other cases regular players would probably have lost one or two and then kind of been down, but both of them having a good number of Zerglings now, so they should be able to turn off each other's attacks and kind of move on to a different strategy. Right now looks like Sen going for the speed boost for his Zerglings, TLO converting to roaches. If you found yourself in a position like this, Baeus, what do you think you would do?
Well, I don't know. I probably would go to, I would probably convert to Speedlings and Banelings, I think. But I have been burned by roaches when I've tried that strategy before. So let's just take a look at what these guys are doing.
Yeah,
Looks like TLO is going for roaches, and Sen just sticking with Zerglings for now.
TLO using an
Interesting.
interesting double queen base block tactic, kind of turning those double queens into makeshift bunkers, if you will. So these speedlings not really having any effect, or at least the effect that Sen would have wanted. Sen sort of more or less spreading the Zerglings around the map, feeling that maybe he can catch some of TLO's units off guard and get some free kills here. I mean, at least that's what I think his mindset is. Of course, doing some scouting as well. Great scouting units. These speedlings, very expendable, very quick. But
Yeah,
right
this
now,
technique TLO is using right now is often used to block Hellions, and it works perfectly for Speedling run-bys as well.
Yeah,
So
these
it turns out.
speedlings just the speedlings just not being able to penetrate into TLO's base, and TLO able to just kind of bulk up his army. And it's funny that TLO once favoring Terran, a few months ago playing Zerg, but he's playing Zerg like a Terran, if you don't mind me saying right now, kind of doing the base block, getting up his supply, getting his beefy units out, his marauders, if you will, and he's kind of just kind of waiting Sen out and waiting for Sen to make a move and maybe make a wrong move. I'd like to see
Yeah.
Sen kind of maybe go to Banelings right now and kind of regard this whole strategy as if TLO has buildings up there.
Yeah, that's a very interesting bit of insight you offered there, JDS. These roaches standing at the top of the ramp, they're pretty much being bunkers, like you said, and I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. They're very beefy. They have lots of hit points, and if you can't get by them, then the roaches in the back are gonna take pot shots at you without being attacked, and it's just like a bunker block. It's so weird.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, none of these roaches have taken a single shot right now. TLO feeling like there he goes. He has enough units to push out. He's bought himself enough time to kind of build up his army. The queens are going to return to that blocking position. A few of the zerglings are going to squeak through, but I think most of these speedlings, TLO isn't even going to send his roaches back. He feels like this block is plenty for him to handle these speedlings, and TLO going to be moving out with these roaches. But look at this, Sen quickly converting his tech right now to roaches, and of course that is one of the main powers of the Zerglings, being able to convert so quickly, to reinforce so quickly as the strategies change. And I think these spine crawlers, these queens, these roaches for Sen going to be too much. But TLO quickly getting burrow right there, maybe going in for a scout at this point. No sighters at the moment for Sen, but TLO doing some quick unburrow, just taking quick shots at Sen's army. I think it's probably a lost cause here for TLO. I would, getting some good harassment here on the expansion. What do you think of this, Bayes?
Well, I do like it. I mean, TLO has to have realized that um, he walked into Sen's base and he realizes, wait a second, he's way behind on the income. So I like that harassment. He's actually now evened up the income by taking out a bunch of those workers, but those workers are going to go right back to work, and Sen is going to be ahead again. I'm not sure exactly how TLO plans to catch up now that he's so far behind in income.
Yeah, TLO, as you mentioned, that getting his first expansion now, these speedlings are going to be here in a good position for Sen. If Sen realizes that his queens are off the line, he might pull them off and go into TLO's main base. I don't know what he's going to decide to do. Going to try to take down this hatchery first. Looks like it's going to succeed. I think he's just going to have enough Zerglings to take down that hatchery, and it's very unusual to see TLO not have an expansion at this point. Of course, well known for being a fast expander as a Terran, who is probably the slowest, the least expansioneering race of the game. So you'd imagine that his Zerg would be even faster. But yeah, definitely Sen having the economic advantage at this point.
Yeah, that Sen did not actually destroy that hatchery. It was canceled every time, and I really like what TLO was doing there. That hatchery was always very low. It was always in really early construction, and he was perfectly canceling it every time. And Sen actually did not get a building kill there.
So using it as more of a distraction for the Zerglings, as the queens were able to whittle down those Zerglings, and really excellent strategy from both these guys right now. I'd like to go back to that roach battle that we saw earlier. I mean, I was really surprised how many roaches TLO was able to actually get out of there with. So some excellent harassment using the burrow strategy there. That was pretty cool to see. I think he's a little behind the eight ball as far as economy, as far as army size is right now. Sen is going to be relatively unbothered at this point as far as getting his second expansion in his army up.
You'll notice that Sen has a changeling in his own army. I wonder if he's got that sitting there so he can transfer it to TLO's army later, or maybe it was a mistake. It's a little confusing to me.
Where is that? Where's the changeling at right now?
That's just sitting to the northwest of Sen's expansion, and it's just slowly dying. It's kind of like a blob sitting there, and it's not really serving any purpose right now.